Hello, welcome to day 3 of our first unit of writing. Let's think about the pain and the great one a little bit more. Now, when we're reading this, I wonder who the original, the great one, and who is the original pain in the story. I wonder if they're actually real people from maybe the author's life. Let's think about that for a second. What do you think? Hmm. What I'm going to read to you is something that the author, Judy Blume, talked about how she comes up with writing ideas. And I think that might help us come up with our own writing ideas. So listen for Judy Blume's words, and then maybe that'll help us think of something new to write about today. Judy Blume talks about becoming an author. She said when she was growing up, she dreamed about becoming a cowgirl or a detective, a spy, a great actress, or a ballerina. Not a dentist like her father, or a homemaker like her mother. Certainly not a writer, although she always loved to read. Judy says, I don't know anything about writers. It never occurred to me that they were regular people and that I could grow up to become one, even though I loved to make up stories inside my head. I made up stories while I bounced a ball against the side of our house. I made up stories playing with paper dolls, and I made them up while I practiced the piano by pretending to give piano lessons. I even kept a notebook with the names of my pretend students and how they were doing. I always had an active imagination, but I never wrote down any of my stories, and I never told anyone about them. When I grew up, my need for storytelling didn't go away. So when my own 2 children started preschool, I began to write, and I've been writing ever since. My characters live inside my head for a long time before I actually start to write a book about them. Then they become so real to me, I talk about them at the dinner table, as if they were real. Some people consider this weird, but my family understands. Somebody asked Judy Blume where she got her ideas. She said, I used to be afraid to answer that question. I thought if I ever figured it out, I'd never have another one. But now I know that ideas come from everywhere. Memories of my own life, incidents in my own children's lives, what I see and hear and read, and most of all, from my imagination. Somebody asked her, what's the hardest part of writing for you? She said, I dread first drafts. I worry each day that it won't come, that nothing will happen. Finally, she was asked about the pain and the great one. We wonder, where did she get that idea from? She says, one rainy afternoon, when my children were about 6 and 8, and the house was filled with their friends, I suddenly got an idea. I sat right down and wrote The Pain and the Great One. The brother and sister in this book are based on my daughter Randy and son Larry. The cat is our first family pet. Randy and Larry, who are grown-ups, still sometimes refer to each other as the pain and the great one.